Hello and welcome to part 3. I'm George Coll. Part 3 of Cedar Cove. So we went into a second day of balance, value balance, and seeing how it works with surrounding colors. We started on the bottom and then worked our way up. We still haven't really done anything with the sky, and we have a lot more to do with the cliffs, and we'll be getting more into the cliffs tomorrow. So, what can we say? Keep painting. Get outside and paint. Paint with your friends. Get critiques. And don't be intimidated by a white canvas. All right, enough of me. Let's get to painting part 3. All right, bye-bye. Hey, welcome back to part 3. You're all brave to do this. Hanging in here. This is going to be a little longer than just 3 sessions. And today we're going to continue with balance. Color balance. We're mixing colors with a value from, light to dark with a color. And with that, we are going to see how that corresponds to the surrounding colors. Does it fit in? And those are the value judgments that we make. I think what helped me with value colors was the Richard Schmidt book, Alla Prima, in which I was introduced to color charts, in which every one of my colors I mixed with one of the other colors and made it darker or lighter. And you can go more into that if you take a look at the Alla Prima book by Richard Schmidt. All right, today I'm just going to be using 2 brushes, the number 4 and number 6, 2025s by Rosemary. Okay, so those are my rosemaries. I got my 2 knives, Connoisseur, my T7, and my scraper for getting my glass nice and clean. All right, let's get into the painting. So one thing I notice is when I got a fresh look here this morning is my lights up here for the junipers are too silvery. I need to get more green into it. And I really think that the colors within the 2 dark junipers up front and the shadows coming down, I think they're the right value and the right color, but not so back in here. So we're going to start there, and we're going to work down here first and then move up into getting these nice pinks and lights, colors, darks and lights into the upper cliffs. All right. Oh, I better keep track of my time. What time is it? All right, so we started at 10:17. We have till 30 minutes. We can go to 10:45. Okay. So let's get started. All right, so let's start first of all with a ultra blue. We're going to make a kind of a juniper color with some raw sienna. And this time we're going to add some permanent green to the mixture. And I'm thoroughly mixing this green. And I'm going to make some more of it because I want to have it around. And now I'm going to add Naples. Yellow. And that's still pretty dark, so I'm going to add some more lightener to it. Now, I think we're getting somewhere, but I don't think we're there yet. All right, let's take a look at this mixture first. Still, it's a nice color, by the way. It's a good juniper color, but it is still too dark. So this time I'm going to add more Naples to the side of it. And then take a look. Here we go. Just going to try it with my knife. And that shows up, but a little too yellowy. So let's knock it down with a little bit of gray. This is a light gray called Portland Gray by Gamblin. And let's go back now to a little bit more gray. I hope I'm not dulling that down too much. That is coming in pretty good. All right, I'm going to start with my number 4. It's a little stiff from yesterday, so I added a little bit of Gamsol to it to loosen it up, drying out the Gamsol and loading up both sides. That has a nice effect, and I hope it's going to hold up here to the rest of these guys. Somebody wants to get a hold of me. Who is it? I heard my little beeping. Oh, it's my calendar saying I should be working with you all right now. I'm going to add a little bit of Gamsol to the mixture to make it go a little farther. And we'll be getting on this stuff to the right proportion. Still beeping at me. I don't like this age of beeping on these phones. It's always reminding me of something. If it's not my calendar, it's some person trying to get a hold of me. I'm going to get some of this up in the cliffs. Because I see some of it. It might be needing a little bit darker up there. But I'll get to that later. Let's concentrate down below, okay? Keep the focus. And I see some of that down in this area also. Keep the mixture going. So I'm adding more gray, more Naples to the mixture, and just a touch of white. That makes it too silvery, so I got to go back to my Naples and a little bit of light gray. Let me see how that is. Good, we're back to it. And I see more of that down in this section too. All right. I'm going to go a little darker here, and I'm going to work right in here with some darker stuff. And I'm going to work some darker stuff in the upper areas also. Add just a little bit more Gamsol in, give it a little bit more muscle. And working it in. I think we better lay off that for now. And let me clean my brush and let's move on to the lower section here with the various colors of warmths. I'll pick up all this, move it over to the side. Get my trusty razor blade scraper with the long handle, which I find at Auto Mechanic supply storehouses. They just don't sell long enough candles at art stores. All right, drop my paper towel. All right, how am I doing on time? Good. All right, let's make some light mixture. So let's go in with Naples and white. Naples and white. Thoroughly mixed. I'm going to add a touch of orange. And I'm still going to use my number 4 here. And I'm going to go into this area here that really shows the light coming down from this angle coming down from left to right. And it really comes in here. And you see I shrunk that trunk just a little bit. And I think I need some of those greens that we just had. And they're going to come over here even farther than I have it. So I used a different brush because I've already got this number 4 already filled with the lighter value. And to go back to that cool green, I used my number 2 rosemary, 2025. So let's get into this again. Okay. And you know, just by using these different values next to the darker ones, you can see we are really starting to get into a little bit of detail by, you know, showing these lights against the darker ones, and it really makes a difference. I think I need a little bit more yellow ochre and a little bit of permanent green. And a little bit of transparent oxide red, a little bit of transparent oxide red, little into here. A little bit more. Too much. Darn it. Let me knock that down. Okay, here we go. It's a really interesting interplay of color in there. And so I'm using my various different dabs of lights and darks on top of it to bring about the needed design. I need to go a little darker, adding a little blue to the mixture here. A little bit more blue to the mixture. And we need some dark edge, so I'm going to go transparent oxide red and a little bit of permanent or transparent oxide blue. And I'm darkening this up, this area here, to show a big transition between lights and darks. It's really a kind of an emphasis of what's needed here. I need a good edge, so I'm going to try to use the very end of my brush. Ain't doing it, I need enough product. Here we go. Boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, that's showing up. Let's see if it's too much. For now, that is good. I think we need this light channel coming through here. So I still have some light right here, and I'm going to connect that to that light, but I need some brown in here. And now it goes to pink, so I'm going to add a little alizarin to the mixture. Boy, you got to be careful with that alizarin. I put too much in it, as you can see, so I'm dulling it down. This is really nice because it's such a pretty color. It's a nice value, and I think we need some up in here. That might be a little too pink up there because I'm looking again at surrounding color, and it says pink but not that much. So let me go back with some of that transparent oxide red mixture. Transparent oxide red, maples, a little white. And let's go up in here and kill some of these pinks. Not too much, but just enough. And add a few dots of that in various places, such as up in here and here. Oop, that might be too much. Let's knock it down just a little. Back to brown. Back to brown again. Okay, so far so good. And we need brown right up in here. Who is dinging me here? All right, sorry for that little interruption for the phone call I had, and let's go ahead and finish up the foreground colors that we have by doing more balance. And now that I look at this, I think what we need is kind of to finish out down here, I need some more like silvery blue greens. I'm looking at, juniper colors and stuff like that. So let's go ahead with some raw sienna, some ultra blue, and now some cobalt. A little bit of viridian, and let's add some white. And I need some more green, so I'm going to add some permanent to that. A little bit more cobalt. And we have a kind of a silvery green here. Just a touch of viridian. That should be nice. I am going to use my number 4 here. And I'm going to get up here and do some of this silvery stuff. And I'm going to introduce some silvery stuff in various places to emulate what I see in the reference. So you see I'm layering color value on top of color value to bring about my interpretation of what I see in this reference. I'm going to make it a little darker, a little bit more blue. So I'm using cobalt and ultra and viridian and a touch of red to make a kind of a purple green. be too much over there, so but I just know that some of these darks are just need to have a little bit more blue in them. And I might go back to some green too. I'm going to add more raw sienna, ultra blue, and now transparent oxide red. A little bit more viridian. And oh, that is nice. Very nice. And I'm going to connect some of my darks up here. And again. And again. And let's go back to those blues, cobalts, and some more cobalts. Just gives a little bit more of a cool shadow tone down in the lower sections of these junipers. Just a little bit of layering makes a big difference in this business. All right, let me get back and see how we're doing. And let's say good for now. We'll come back to this with smaller brushes at a later session, but let's move on and get up top. Now you see we have these nice light mixture here in the dark. Let's mix this whole thing together, this light, and let's add alizarin and ultra, and let's work on the shadow side. Let's make some more ultra and a little bit of alizarin, and I'm going to add a little green to it. Okay, so now we're going to go back to a number 4 flat 2025. And I'm going to thin down this mixture, and we're going to get some of these purpley colors into the shadows. Thin, please. Thin, please. Even thinner now, because we see some bright stuff up in here. Probably should have used a bigger brush, but I'm already committed. There seems to be some sort of a dark up on top, which would probably be junipers. And let's move over now to the other side, but let me soften some of this. It's so loose, and I want to even it out. Sorry for me being in front. I'll move back. Miss Cat has entered the studio, making her presence known, which is usually pet me. But I'm busy. Yes, I'm busy. All right, let's move this purple over and move over to the other side and work on the worms. Thinning out some of this stuff. There we go. This is a little too dark right here. Should put a little bit of purple on that. Let me do that now. Oh, I need to get some darks in there too. All right, but at a later session, let's move over to the warm side. So let's go some white, Hansa Yellow Deep. Touch of orange and transparent oxide red. More orange, more transparent oxide red. Make it nice and even. And that's coming in, I think, pretty close. Now, my brushes are a little dirty, so I might think about getting a brush that I haven't used yet today, that isn't so contaminated. And I'm going to go use my number 6 because I haven't used it. And get in some lights. I think I'm going to drag some down because I see some lights coming through here. And I'm going to add a touch of permanent green to this mixture and go a step up. You see, there's kind of a green-gray in there. Let me add a little silvery gray. A little bit of green in there. Little maples, little white, and here we go, little white, and oh, that's looking nice. Probably do some of that over here too, on top. I see some light coming over the top, I guess. But I'm contaminating my brush. What am I thinking? All right. And we're going to get some of this even lighter value right up on top. I might need to get a knife on that. Yeah, that shows it up. And I think we need a little bit of orange in there. It's more of an orange on top. And that should bring us to an end today. Whew! Isn't that pretty? Nicey nice. Okay. Let me knock that down just a little bit with some orange. It's a little too bright when I got back there. All right, that brings us to the end of part 3. And I'll see you tomorrow in step 4. Okay, thanks for coming by. Bye-bye.